I mean, look, it's not a priority. As somebody in their 20s, you're not thinking about your pension. You're thinking about buying a new home, your career, starting a family, if that's what you want to do. So it's not a priority, but it's definitely something that I would flag. I suppose it's like anything, the closer you get to actually drawing your pension, the more and sharper it gets into focus. I suppose I would try to say to everybody, look, forewarned is forearmed. The software that we have just allows me to put people in an informed position and, let them know what their pension is going to be, maybe in their mid 50s or their early, their 60s. And it's often informed individuals where they think they have to work to a certain age. But whenever I explain how the scheme works and what the benefits are accruing, they can often change their plans. So I don't think it's too early. It's something that changes priority as the closer you get towards it. But there's no bad age to find out what you're going to be living on. I always say to people, look, the plan for retirement, the NHS pension, this is the longest running financial arrangement you'll be involved with. You pay into the thing all the way through your working life, and then you draw an income from it all the way through the remainder of your life when you're retired. So there's nothing else you're going to be involved with for that long, and that's why it's important that they should find out about it. It's an option for all GPs, but I suppose they just have to decide financially, is it viable? I mean, the big question when you decide if you want to retire early is, I would say to people two things. One is, have a good think about retirement, because especially when you're a GP, whether you're working full time, 3/4 time, whatever, you have a very busy life, and to just decide to retire and we do medicine on the Friday and we stop work on the Monday, you need to sort of plan in terms of what you're actually going to do with your time. And I'm only saying that from experience, for speaking to people that have retired. And if they really didn't think about maybe having a hobby or something that was going to give them a bit of structure or a bit of time, something to do on a daily basis, what happened was they retired for 3 or 4 months and then they ended up coming back to work because they missed that sort of structure. So that would be one thing. So I wouldn't say there's a time that it's too early to retire. Um, and again, I suppose that's where we come in. We talk about the early retirement, the impact on it, and put people in a position where they can actually look, financially, is it going to be viable? And for them, if they want to retire early and it's the right thing for them and their families, then by all means, there's no age that's the wrong age. It's just dependent on the individual. What tends to happen is, I mean, there's the day of retirement when you get your pension and you get your tax-free lump sum. Most people, I would say to them, look, take a bit of time, because it's often they like, it's unusual they land for such a large amount of money at any stage in your life. So I say take a bit of time, take a few months. They might pay off all their debts. That's one thing that most people would do, make sure they're debt free. They might treat themselves. They might have a nice holiday, buy a new car, maybe get some work done at home. They might give some money away to their family or pay off some of their children's debts. Paying off student loans for their children is not unusual. So that's the first stage really. And once they've done all that and the dust is settled and they're then sitting where they know what their income is, it's not unusual that they would maybe still be working on a reduced number of sessions. So you've got that stage where they're drawing their NHS pension, but they're still drawing an income from the practice. The next stage then is really whenever they do decide to start with work altogether and stop with medicine, because then they're going to have another drop in income. But hopefully they've done a bit of planning and they've reduced their outgoings because they're now debt free, and they're going to have enough to live on as regards their NHS pension. And then the next one is really sort of thinking longer term. Hopefully it's not insensitive, but thinking about maybe funding long-term care if that's something that's going to come along at a later date, and making sure that the way your assets and your estate are arranged is going to be sufficient to be able to help fund that. And before then, that you've done all the things you wanted to do in terms of your own lifestyle and helping your family out as well. Well, firstly, I would ask them what dream retirement is. What's the things that you really want to do? And it could well be that the arrangements they have in place are going to be enough to do that. If they're not, I would say the first top tip is really to start early. The earlier you start throwing money the other side of the fence for the day whenever you get to retirement, the more chance it's got to grow, and the larger the pot's going to be. I would say to them, let's look at the different vehicles in terms of tax efficiency. There's things that they could do within the NHS that are absolutely risk-free, guaranteed, will provide them with a higher level of income come retirement, but they might be too expensive, or they might have not enough flexibility. So we talk through those options first and foremost. But really, I would just say, yeah, plan early, have a clear goal, decide what it is that you want, and, look at what you have already. And if there's a difference between the two, then we can put plans in place to make sure that we make that up.